You were working in the same sort of area of research so far, but with different perspective. You're working more in the philosophy and what does it mean in regards to society and structures. I'm in another perspective with how do you sort of make quantum be sensitive, sort of the poetry of quantum, but also the education of it. So it's two different perspectives. And so crossing the laboratories and the people was a way to reflect on different ways of approaching the artistic research. And I found your images really beautiful that you had from the laboratory visit.
I mean, I think there's also something in but there's also some overlap in interesting ways, like from different perspectives. But I think one of the things that I'm realizing is how much rigor is important to both of us. Because we have collaboration, but there's also like a real in-depth interest in understanding what's actually happening. I think that cuts against this idea of art science in terms of, I don't remember what words you used, whether it was subordinate, art subordinate to science, science subordinate to art to communicate science.
Yeah.
There are these kinds of dualities that are interesting, but I think in different ways we're both pressing the edge / balancing on the wire, as you said.
Yeah.
Trying to be faithful to both without being too damaging to the other, maybe.
In quantum physics, actually, the first thing is like the thing that everyone knows is the cat. They call it an analogy, and when you say analogy, you have to be really neat and precise and accurate because analogy is a specific scientific term. The analogy has to be a mathematical equation, sort of.
They have like a one-to-one correspondence. Yeah.
Anytime you speak to scientists, they like to use this metaphor. Like I was yesterday with James and he explained me how to cook a cookie. So that was a way of explaining what they were doing with the quantum material. To me, it's a good way to approach. And what I like in the metaphor, when I use the human, is that then you can reflect and get in touch because, you know, when you see a human figure, you react to it with emotion. And so you can have the artwork, you know, saying something, but that you have the emotion of the what is, you know, the mimesis that is sort of displayed in this artwork that gets you also in interaction and emotion and gets you more aware. And so that's a way to grab the attention and the awareness.
Yeah, I mean, I think metaphor is really valuable for communication. That's much more complicated for me in this particular place that I am at with my thinking about theory and agential realism and Canberra had maybe two ways of thinking, as in kinds of waves that interact in such a way that they emphasize something and de-emphasize or make invisible other things. And so I think every metaphor is this choice of what aspects are important in the theory and the math and what aspects aren't. And I think every metaphor is a different opportunity for understanding, but also means that, the potential for understanding in a way that may be disconnected from the intention of the person. And then we're back to analogy having a specific meaning in order to communicate specific concepts. So I don't explicitly work with metaphor. If anything, I would say I'm trying to reject representationalism and metaphor.
Well, for me, basically it's starting with the viewer. That's really the starting point here, is how do I bring people to this journey with me? Depending on this, I will make the artwork. This brings me to the moment where I felt, well, painting is not enough. I need something else. This is driving me to sort of think through installation. And I find it both super exciting and a bit scary also, because it's a process that I need to go through and I don't want to do it wrong. I'm trying to be more exigent. I'm writing a lot in my notebook and I'm making many sketches and things of what could be, and I'm working on it right now. In this sense, quantum is making me move artistically to a new sphere. I think it's super interesting, intellectually and artistically. Yeah.
I think generally as an artist who works with images but really processes, I would say my artistic material is process, not any particular media, but maybe the possibility of media. There already feels like maybe there was the proto potential for quantum to be fitting in. At the beginning of this residency, I had ideas for things that I wanted to do, and some of those, so previously I might have actually said my artistic material is scientific knowledge. I did have a period where that was how I was thinking about things. These days I'm thinking about my artistic material as process, but there was this period at the beginning of the residency where I was thinking about the apparatus used in quantum physics experiments itself as a material. So yeah, I think there was something in duration and time that's also worth considering. And what would it take in terms of more training and knowledge and competency to even be able to use it well, properly.